That hit the batter's eye.
Yeah.
So even though the Giants got blown out in game number 2 versus the Dodgers, I still had an absolute blast vlogging that game and eating garlic fries and everything like that. It was my first time in AT&T Park. I want to call it that because Oracle doesn't sound as good. But seeing that crowd in Chicago makes me feel like I chose the wrong game to go to. But what's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. We are back in the office, so we are ready for a regular recap. The Braves, I do want to mention them real quick because they're playing right now in game number 3. And a few days ago, because I was traveling, I was unable to recap what happened. I can really summarize it with 2 words: Max Fried. He absolutely dominated the Brewers lineup, and then the bullpen came in huge as they shut them out. It was an easy game for them. But just a reminder, make sure that you guys use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save yourself 20 bucks off if you're going to any playoff games anytime soon. Or if you're going to football games or basketball games, the code can still be used for those as well. Now let's go ahead and break down the Boston versus Tampa Bay game. We have Austin Meadows lifting off with a 2-run home run, and the guy was not good whatsoever in the second half. He had an 809 OPS in the first half en route to becoming an all-star, and then in the second half he barely had a 700 OPS, but it looks like he can catch a little bit of fire in the postseason. Kyle Schwarber, we just saw him lift off, so the score stays 2-1 going into the third inning. When Schwarber just forgets how much power he has, he flicks a ball over the pitcher that was covering first base. Now luckily that run did not score, and he might have a deja vu moment later on in the game, but before that happened, Kike Hernandez and Rafael Devers, they bring home 2 more, and then Kyle Schwarber, here's the deja vu play. It happened again, but this time he completes it and he gets a standing ovation and soaks it in. That was a pretty funny moment. I love Kyle Schwarber. Kike Hernandez hits a home run in 7 consecutive at-bats. I believe that is a postseason record, and he has 8 base hits in the last 2 games, which ties Derek Jeter for the most base hits in the span of 2 games in the playoffs. The score is 4-2, and the Sox bullpen, they have not been that good over the regular season, and it kind of continued yesterday as Wander Franco hits an Oppo Taco at 20 years old. He can't even legally drink yet, and he is doing big things like that. And then Randy Arozarena, one of the clutchest hitters in postseason history, he ties it up on a double. I would have walked him 100%. Now enter Nick Pivetta. This guy must have thought that Halloween was yesterday because he was carving up the Rays lineup like they were pumpkins. 4 shutout innings with 7 strikeouts, and then the game ends on 1 single swing as Christian Vasquez, he walks it off. The Boston Red Sox now have a 2-1 lead over the Tampa Bay Rays. They are 1 single win away from clinching this series, and I want you guys to let me know in the comment section down below. Do we think that it's going to end, or do you think that the Rays are going to win 2 games in a row and get back into the series? Because statistically speaking, whoever wins game number 3 wins 75% of the time, so it's a little food for thought. The final game from yesterday, this got very dramatic as Ryan Tepera opened his mouth after the game. He poured some salt in the wound, but we'll talk about that after the highlights. So this was a wild one. Make sure you guys sit tight and buckle in. Eloy Jimenez, he singles in TA7 early on, and then the Astros erupt over the next few frames. Kyle Tucker is becoming a superstar right before our very eyes. He has a 2-run home run to make it 5-1 in the third inning, and then Grandal, he answers back with a 2-run home run of his own, and then Lurie Garcia, he one-ups both of them with a 3-run tater that almost went 440 feet. This one took the lead, but Bregman, he did not like the sound of that. He ties it up on a single. And then the White Sox, they storm back and they capitalize in the 4th with a big-time inning. It starts off with a Jose Abreu RBI single, which is fine, but then this happened. Yasmani Grandal, I do not mean to upset White Sox fans because I know you're just being passionate, but this was clearly runner's interference. Started off in foul territory, and then his baseball IQ said, hey, if I run on the grass, I'm going to be in the way of the first baseman who was going to throw home, but he was 100% interfering, and the umpires definitely got this wrong as he was called safe. Eloy has an infield single, and that was followed up by Andrew Vaughn and Garcia. They had a few RBI doubles. Tim Anderson drives in the final run of the game, and Liam Hendricks, he strikes out 2 as the White Sox, they come away with a 12-6 victory. Now, after the game, Ryan Tepera, again, he decides to pour salt in the wound. I wouldn't have said this, and I'll explain why after we roll the clip.
The stadium was rocking, obviously it's a different game here at our field, you play at Minute Maid, and, they're doing something over there that's a little different, it shows you how many swings and misses they had tonight compared to at Minute Maid. That's why you have home field advantage, and, tomorrow, we look tomorrow, and, we got another home field advantage, so, it is what it is. They've obviously had a reputation of, doing some sketchy stuff over there. We can say that it's a little bit of a difference, I think you saw the swings and misses tonight compared to, the first 2 games at Minute Maid. That's not really the story, We come here to play, we're going to compete. We're not going to worry about what they're going to do.
So pretty much he says that the Astros, even though they scored 6 runs on the road, are not the same team away from Minute Maid, and we know that they've been sketchy in the past, which is funny because Dallas Keuchel, his teammate, was on the same 2017 Astros, so it could get awkward very fast. I just don't understand the point that he was trying to make, because the White Sox, they had the best record in Major League Baseball at home, and they were 40-41, so 1 game under 500 on the road in 2021, so I guess that means they were cheating. They're so much better at home. They must just know what's coming. So just not the right time to bring up something like that because of how terrible they were on the road and how they were basically unbeatable when they were playing at home. I just, there's no chance, in my opinion, that the Houston Astros are cheating all over again. I mean, that would be borderline 0 IQ level of stupidity for them to say that they have a chip on their shoulder, and I just don't understand why Ryan Tepera had to throw fuel on the fire, because the Astros, they already got beat down. That was bad enough, and now they have extra motivation, and they confirmed that from a tweet from Martin Maldonado. The Astros heard exactly what Tepera said, and they are going to come out guns a-blazing. There are 3 people or teams that I would not call out in the playoffs: Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, and the Houston Astros. Once it's playoff time, I think it's a horrible idea to say that they are not the real deal. Yeah, you just gave them extra motivation. I would have not done that, and a lot of White Sox fans are actually on Twitter saying, hey, let's focus on winning game number 4 instead of saying that the Astros are better at home, when the White Sox had the best record at home and were under 500 on the road. So just overall, even though he had a good game yesterday, the Astros over the course of Ryan Tepera's career have a 950 OPS against that man. So yeah, he was great yesterday with 2 shutout innings, but if he comes in game number 4 or 5 because it was postponed, I don't think the Astros are going to be upset. They light that guy up. So let me know in the comment section down below, do we think that the Astros are cheating yet again? I think that is, I mean, never say never, like my boy Justin Bieber said, but come on. That they are trying to prove a point, and I don't think that they are cheating. Just Ryan, just focus on winning and just leave it at that. Now, there are 3 games happening today. We have Freddie Peralta versus Ian Anderson. That game is going on right now. I'm going to go with the Atlanta Ian Andersons in game number 3. In game number 2, we have Colin McHugh versus E-Rod. So McHugh is probably going to go 2, maybe 3 innings. He used to be a starter with the Astros, so if he's in a groove, he's going to stay in and throw maybe 75, 80 pitches if he's on top of his game. I'm going to go with the Rays evening up the series in game number 4. And then last but not least, we have Alex Wood versus Max Scherzer. This one, it should be an easy pick because Max Scherzer is at home, and to me, that is, I am going to pick the Dodgers in game number 3 as they take a 2-1 lead. But my predictions, they've been pretty good. Like, I think I'm 80 to 85% right so far. But let me know in the comment section down below, what do you make of the scores from yesterday? What do you make of the dramatics afterwards of Ryan Tepera calling out the sketchy Houston Astros, even though they just won their first game and the Astros still scored 6 runs. Like, scoring 6 runs on the road is not the easiest thing in the world to do. So I would say my best advice would be to stop talking, just play baseball, focus on winning, because you're still losing the series. So thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you guys stay safe out there. Enjoy some baseball. Be safe. Remember to use code Fuzzy to save yourself $20 off if you're going to any games using SeatGeek.